Guys, it's D Styles. I bring you back another beautiful tutorial. If you want to know how I created this look, stay tuned. Okay, first we're going to be cleansing the face using the Garnier Skin Active micellar water and wipes. Next, I'm going to be fixing her contact lens from Sparkle Beauty. So the trick is that you tell her to look down and fix the contact on the white part. While she's still looking down, she just tilts the black part of her eye towards the contact, and that's the easiest way to fix your contact. Next, we're going to be going in with the badescu just to hydrate the face. To moisturize, we're using the Blossom moisturizer. So I'm just going to be moisturizing the skin, especially under the eyes. You want to focus under the eyes, so a lot of moisturizer goes there and your makeup wouldn't break during the whole process. Next, I'm going to be using my sweat block from Msmetic, using their power seal with a cotton pad to just dab on the forehead and the T-zone areas so my makeup can last longer. Now I'm applying my grip primer from also Msmetic all around the face except the under eye. You want to avoid that under eye region because you still want it to be well moisturized. Next, I'm going in with Becca primer, and I'm just going to be using it on the nose and on the brow. You want to massage this into the skin. Please emphasis on massage, because if you don't, your makeup can break along those areas you applied your primer. Next, we're doing foundation. I'm using the V Beauty foundation, and before I blend, I like to spray so I can have ease while blending. I'm using a damp beauty blender. Please do not use a dry beauty blender. Make sure your beauty blender is not dry nor wet. It should just be damp. While you're blending, you want to make sure that you are bouncing the beauty blender on the face. You are dabbing. Please do not swipe or swirl or whatever. Just dab. That's the best way if you want to have a flawless finish. You can see dabbing just makes the whole product sink into the skin. While you are doing your foundation, you want to make sure that you go under the chin so that the makeup doesn't look like she's wearing a mask. Next is contour. I'm using the Nuban concealer in the shade 049 to contour. So I just contour within that tragus area. I don't like to go down because I noticed that whenever I contour downwards too much, it makes the person look a bit older. So I just maintain that region. Now for blush, I'm using the Nuban corrector in the shade 050 for my blush. I'm just putting this on the apple of her cheeks and then I'm blending it. Next, we're going to be going in with concealer. First, I'm starting off with the Becharm concealer under the eye, the nose, the chin, the cupid's bow, and the forehead. I'm going now with a medium shade from Beauty by AD, and then I'm just putting it after the brighter concealer on the same areas. And next, I'm going to be using my foundation to around the edges of the under eye, the nose, the cupid's bow, the chin, and the forehead. So basically, I'm going from the lightest to the lighter and the light shade, so that when we are about to blend, we can have a gradient effect. Not that everywhere is just looking bright, so at least the brightness can tone down up until we get to the foundation region. That's just the trick to why we're using 3 different shades for highlighting. So when you want to blend, you want to make sure that you start with the foundation shade before you go in with the lighter one and then the lightest. Same for everywhere. So I like to blend every everywhere we highlighted except the under eye. I would still blend the under eye, but I just wanted to like gain a bit of texture. I want the concealer to be a bit thick before I blend it out. Yep, so we're still using the same dabbing technique. Just dab, and make sure when you're dabbing you're not adding pressure. Make sure that as you're dabbing you are light-handed. It is very key for a perfect blend. A trick to blend the under eye, make sure that your client is looking up. That way you can get into your under eye well, and remember, be light-handed while blending. Right, so now we're going to be setting all the areas we highlighted using a setting powder. The powder I'm using here is the Merak setting powder alongside the RCMA. I just mixed the two of them and I'm using them to set the highlighted areas. So I'm taking little powder at a time and then I'm just blending it into the skin. If you take so much you might create patches, so you just want to make sure that you take little and blend into the skin. Now for the under eye, how I set my under eye region is that I go back in with my beauty blender. That's the part I used to blend the concealer, and then I blend the under eye again in case there's any crease or whatsoever. I smoothen out any lines that might have formed under the eye before I go in lightly with my setting powder. So I just keep repeating the whole setting powder step. I just keep going in lightly with setting powder over and over again, all the highlighted areas, until I am satisfied that it is well set. I'm not seeing any oily look or whatsoever. I'm just seeing a matte under eye, matte nose, a matte chin, and all the places we highlighted basically. So next I'm going to be setting the entire face using my Becharm Assurance powder palette. So I'm just going to be setting the entire face. Watch how I'm setting the face. I'm dabbing. I'm just dabbing. I'm not swirling, I'm not swiping, I'm just dabbing around the face, and I'm trying to avoid the areas we highlighted. I'm just dabbing the powder, that's her skin tone powder, on her face, everywhere on her face except the places we highlighted. Alright, so now while contouring, I like to use an angled powder brush to contour. So I'm contouring still using the same Becharm Assurance powder palette to contour. I'm just using a powder that is 2 shades darker than her skin tone. Then for the nose contour, I'm also using the same powder, but I am trying to form a Y shape as usual. So I just make my 2 branches and then I make sure that I take the lines downwards. And while I'm taking the lines downward, I'm trying to make sure that the lines are close enough so that I don't end up making the nose look fatter than usual. Alright, so now I'm just applying my blush. For reverse contour, I'm using the same setting powders we used to set the highlighted areas. So I'm just going to be directly underneath the tragus area where we contoured, and then after the nose contour. Now I'm baking using a Merak setting powder in the shade Curry. For brows, I'm going to start off by taming her brow hairs using the Browmatic brow tamer. So I already have a detailed eyebrow tutorial on my page. Do well to check it out and just enjoy the process. Time for eyeshadow now. I'm going in with a white base from my Imagic lip palette. I'm going to be using my Sylvimak eyeshadow palette for the eyeshadow look today, and I'm going in with the brown shade from the palette first, and I'm using a nude shade from the palette there. I'm just packing it up on the eyes, and then I'm going to be using a reddish color just to marry that brown into the nude eyeshadow. To smoke the under eye, I'm going in with a black eyeshadow, and then I'm blending out with an orange eyeshadow. Now for the tear duct area, I'm just going to be using that sparkle glitter from Yanga Beauty just to pop the tear duct corner, the inner corner of the eye. I'm lining using my Karite gel liner. So I lined the inner eyes, that's the under eye, using my Imagic lip palette. I just used the peach shade there to line her waterline under. The mascara I used for this particular look is from Wink Beauty. The mascara is a must-have. It's waterproof and it just gives volume to the natural lashes. To take out that reverse contour, just pack some dark color on your brush and go on the line and just swirl on it. You see that line will just go out immediately. So now I'm setting the entire face. I'm going generously with my setting spray from Kiss Beauty all around the face to make sure that everything just sinks into the face. Now for my under eye, I'm going in with that same Wink Beauty mascara to just give volume to the under eyelashes. I'm going in with the cheek glaze from Tehilla. I'm using their two blush palettes, that's the original one and the Eden's edition. Went in with my highlighter on my cheek, forehead, nose, cupid's bow, and alright, so for my final spray, I used the Seal It spray from Supro, and now it's lip time. I already have a detailed lip tutorial on my page as well. Please do well to check it out. Okay, so now I'm just going to be spraying her neck with my Usher's shimmer spray just to give it a bit of a glow, and I glossed the lips off camera, and this is the final look, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. See you in my next tutorial. Bye. Don't forget to like, comment and share. See ya.